Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. I'm Victoria,
I'm Patrick.
and we're missing our counterpart Ali today, so bear with us. We'll do a little improvisation,
Yeah.
whatever. Anywho, so today we're going to talk about accessories from beginner to connoisseur, like aficionado, which he is at this point. So from the moment you hold it, cut it, and light it, it might be awkward at first, but it becomes a ritual. And like any other hobby, you're going to start with the basics. And then as you progress, you're going to get into the more expensive items.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's start at the beginning because every aficionado starts somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you remember your very first cigar? What was the experience like? Smooth, rough, or just memorable?
So, if we want to go back to my very first cigar, I was 16. I tried it out, and it was a horrible experience, horrible. But I was 16, right? So didn't know anything.
You didn't know how to smoke it, right?
Yeah, I didn't know how to smoke.
You were smoking
right?
it like another kind of.
Exactly. But my first cigar, it was a tobacco, coffee flavored cigar. It was smooth, it was sweet. It was very, mild. It was something that I liked because it was not not too harsh, and that's where a lot of people start off at. They start off with the lighter stuff, and kind of make their way up. Some people don't leave it, and that's perfectly fine. Like, I enjoy a sweet cigar every once in a while, maybe not as much as I did back then, but I do have them, and I do still enjoy them.
So would you say that was like just more memorable? Well, I guess your very first experience was memorable.
Oh yeah, the first.
If it was that, yeah.
The first one's always memorable.
Yeah, if you don't know how to smoke a cigar, don't inhale.
Yes,
You will get
please
sick.
do not inhale. That's number one rule. A lot of people, they're afraid to smoke because it's not like smoking a cigarette. You don't inhale, but when you inhale, you'll know you did wrong.
Yeah, you'll get sick for sure. Morning, Robbie.
What's up, Robbie?
All right, so moving on. When you were first getting started, did you find the gear intimidating, like the cutter, the lighter? What do you wish somebody told you about the tools that you would need?
Well, first thing is the cutter, right? So there's so many cuts out there now. Like, I mean, V cuts, punch cuts, crown cuts. We got hybrid cuts, everything in between. A lot of people, they get intimidated because they don't know what it is. I wish somebody told me what's the best for my cigar. Like, I had a sweet cigar, so now I know that you just punch the tip, so it keeps the cap and the sweetness in the cap. But I cut it, so it wasn't as good as it should have been. But even though it was still good, it wasn't as good as it could have been, and I wish somebody would explain that to me. And even up to lighting the cigars, you can't just put a straight up torch, to your lighter because you're going to end up burning the inside. And I did that. Straight up torched it until it was nice, ready to go. Burning uneven, kind of charred.
But the funny thing is anytime you see that on TV or in a movie, you see them with a straight torch, like like flame blowing the tip of the cigar. So you automatically think, oh yeah.
Some people do that just because they're smoking tobacco and that's all they want to do. Some people want to take it to the next level, make it a ritual, kind of embrace it. Just as this is my relaxation. So it's all in all, it's just different for different people.
Yeah. So what beginner mistakes do you see people making all the time, and how can they avoid them?
First of all, not asking questions. If you have a question, ask. Me being a man, I didn't ask. I was like, oh, I know what I'm doing. No, I didn't know what I was doing.
But who did ask?
Yeah.
I asked.
Yes. So it's just, don't be afraid to ask questions. What does this do? Or, even if it's about a cigar, don't be afraid to ask a question. Hey, I've never really smoked this cigar. What would you suggest? Or, what? Hey, I'm kind of moving on up to the medium flavor. What would you suggest? And there's people who work at these lounges, who do this for a living, who give you good recommendations. But one thing, just don't be afraid to ask questions, because that's where your biggest downfall is. You think you're going to get it, and it could ruin the experience for you.
To where you might not want to do it again.
Exactly, and it just takes away from it, and it should be a great experience.
So, kind of moving on from that, the next level, you're not just smoking the cigars, but you're starting to develop a collection and you're experimenting more.
Mm-hmm.
So, at what point did cigars stop being casual for you and more of like a hobby?
That's tough because it still could be casual, you know.
It's not casual.
No, not now.
It's not casual.
Not now, not at all. Definitely not at all. So just kind of researching it, that's when I kind of like was, wow, this is a lifestyle. Like, this is something that I want to get into. Yes, my collection started off small, just like everyone else's is. And, you know, right now it's a pretty nice size selection. But when I found out how big it is, you know, worldwide, and I know there's Cubans, but there's more than Cubans, you know, the Japanese people are starting to get into the, you know, cigar making, the Chinese people, you know, there's a whole lifestyle out there. There's different parts of the country. You have, you know,
we have our boys in Australia.
You have people in Australia, yes.
Watching us now.
They're watching us and having a smoke with us. So
would you say that, yes, the smoking experience is what pulled you in, but the lifestyle is kind of like hook, line, and sinker for you?
Yes, definitely, because it's something that I feel matches me. You know, like I kind of like the relaxation, you know, the
culture
the
of
culture,
it.
Yes, the very gist of it, you know, like just being there with a cigar, enjoying it, having a drink, socializing, all the way up to, you know, being at the festivals, you know, still socializing, still having a cigar, you know, but different kind of environments as it would be in a lounge.
So humidors.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it gets tricky. I don't understand them myself. I let him put all my cigars away. But do you remember your first upgrade? Was it about size, precision, or aesthetics?
Oof, that's tough. So
it was size.
Yeah, well, it was size, but the first one I got was really cool on the outside. It's, you know, it's shiny. It's a Latitude 01, you know, and I still have that one.
Well, that wasn't your very first one.
No, the very first one I got was a small little desktop. It had a glass. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, so cigars were in there, you know, but...
So it's kind of all three.
Yeah, it was. And then when I moved up, that's when it became, hey, you know what? I need a little more room. I kind of like this. This is something I can show off. And that's kind of like where it kind of went.
Yeah. I think as you progress, though, within this hobby, it does become all three. Because, yes, you need something that's going to hold your whole collection. Yes, you want something that's going to keep it at the correct humidity level. But like anything else, you want nice shit. So it's going to be nice and it's going to be expensive.
Definitely.
So humidity control, like I just said, I have no idea how to do that. He's always on top of it, but it's like everything when it comes to cigars. That's what's going to keep them, you know, prepped and ready to go. So what's your go-to system? You know, Boveda packs, electric humidifiers. Do you have another type of system that you use?
Easiest, and I can't like easiest for anybody is Boveda packs. It's literally a set and forget. You know, you set it, it's going to keep the humidity, whatever the pack is, 69, 65, 62, 70, whatever your preference is on it. I do have both. I have, you know, electric humidifiers. I have a humidor, which is electric and electric cooling. And then I just have some with just Boveda packs. So I have all three. I have a mixture of three. You know, there's other conventional ways you can do it with either beads. I've tried beads. I really didn't, you know, it wasn't for me. There's gel. There's cat litter. It's a special cat litter. It has silica beads in it, and you can use that.
I didn't realize that there was so many different options when it comes to, you know, humidors and the humidity and things like the Boveda packs. Do they, like, I know they essentially do the same thing, but I mean, is one superior over the other? Like, oh, Boveda's what's really going to keep them at this percentage of humidity, or if you have this kind of cigar, you should put it in an electric humidifier. Is that something that you've noticed?
No. So, like I said, Boveda is easy. You just leave it in there and you don't have to worry about it. Check it every couple months and replace it. Whereas, if you are doing the electric or you're doing, you know, cat litter, beads, whatever the case is, it's more fine tuning it. So when you get to that level, you can fine tune it. Like whereas with cat litter, you spray it once, or not even cat litter, just the beads, anything with silica gel in it. Spray it once or twice a week, and you keep it at the level that you want it. But you also gotta play with it to get it where you want it at, and then once you get it there, maintaining it. So it's just really.
I guess it's not just personal preference, but how involved you want to
Yes.
be within your own process.
Exactly.
So
Some people have that time to just be there and sitting and see what it does. Some people are just like, you know what, I want to put it in there and just take off, and that's what some people do.
So we both smoke socially and personally. And one of the questions that we have here is, do you keep a cigar journal or tasting notes? How important is that for growing your palate? I'll go first because my answer is short. No. He is my cigar journal. He tells me what my palate likes because he's a lot more versed in it than I am. I know I like sweet, and that's about it. So that's my short answer.
So once again, it comes down to personal preference. If you're going to be smoking a lot, it's kind of hard to put a journal together when you're smoking 3 or 4 cigars,
But they have apps now, right?
They do have apps, and that's what's really good. You can scan your barcode, and it'll pop up the cigar, and you can leave notes on it, or you can just go back and review it later. I personally had both. I do have a paper journal from when I first started, because, I was barely doing 1 cigar every so often, and, I progressed. So I do the app. I don't necessarily review them as much, but I do enjoy them. Like I'll take down the notes. Like if I want to, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm really getting this out of it. And if I share it with somebody, like kind of see if they get it. For some people, yes. If you want to do that to develop your palate, you can. Some people don't. It's not a big necessity.
Yeah.
But it's something cool to look back on. Be like, hey, this is where I first started. This was my first really great cigar, and look at where I'm at now. So it's kind of nostalgia, like that, or leave to somebody, like you care about, like, oh, look, this is a journal that I did.
Well, not only that, as you get older, things change, your palate included. So
Yes.
A cigar that you found that you liked maybe even a year ago may taste totally different to you now.
Yes, definitely.
So, but like you said, it's personal preference. If you don't want to keep the notes, you don't want to keep the journal or the app, one of the things that I remember I would tell you to do at the beginning is just take a picture of it, and if you remember what it tastes like, then that means you really like it. If you don't, then you probably didn't really enjoy it anyways. So that was like mid-level that we're talking about. Okay. Now we're moving on to expert connoisseur level.
No.
You're pretty close to that, if not there already. So, at this point, it's like more than a pastime. It's a bit of an art form.
Yes.
So when did you first feel like I'm no longer a beginner, I'm a connoisseur? Was it a tool, a cigar, or was it an experience that made that click for you?
So, honestly, it's probably when I first got my first expensive cigar. It was something I didn't smoke right away. I wanted to put away, so I wanted to, preserve it the best I could. So just with that alone is like, okay, I can do this. This is something I like. It's aging it. It's going to come out really good. It was, I guess it's more of a cigar. Like, of course, don't get me wrong. The lifestyle is what pushed me into it, but it was the cigars that itself that kind of made me like, you know what? I want to be at that level. I want to get there. And when you're aging cigars, they come out totally different. They might be different from when you had it a year earlier. I have some cigars that have been sitting 7 years. I have some that are from 2014. So it's really just what you want. But for me, it was a cigar that was in my hand. Is like, this is a baby. I need to protect it. So how can I do that?
It was just like a light bulb moment.
And it's like, okay, I have more babies now, and more babies and more babies. And that's when it kind of turned into a hobby. You know, like that's how my collection grew. You know, it's a big collection. You know,
It's a huge collection.
And it happens.
Now, with such a vast collection, though, do you remember your first cigar?
Like
your we talked about your horrible experience when you
Yes.
were like 16. Let's not go that far back. What was like the very first one that you had? Was it the Maduro?
it was so the first one that I had that kind of like pushed me like into loving cigars was a Padron. It was a 19. I got it from one of the
Yeah.
cigar sampler packs that I got, and it was Padron. It was a 1964 anniversary. I smoked it, but it also came with another one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when it was kind of like, all right, this is it. Now my very first cigar, you know, like it was a tobacco, it was the Java, you know, it was the sweeter ones. But that was the one that kind of pushed me into like, this is really good tobacco. You can tell the quality, you can tell the difference, you know, just the amount that they put into it. You can tell that it's different. And so that's how I liked it. Like some are different, and that's situation is where you can feel the craftsmanship.
Yeah. So aside from the cigars,
Mhm.
let's talk luxury gear. So, I mean, I'm talking DuPont lighters, high-end cutters, cabinet humidors. Are the name brands essential, or is it just more of like an indulgence?
I believe it's an indulgence. Now don't get me wrong. If you're willing to spend $2,500 on a lighter, a DuPont lighter, go for it. It's gonna last you the rest of your life. It might even last your kid's life, you know. But those are things you get. You can guaranteed. You're guaranteed, you know, that's gonna be with you for the rest of your life, and you're paying for it, right? So it's an investment. I don't necessarily see that way. I kind of mid-level, you know, like I like the Zycar, I like, you know,
I mean, there are good like mid-level brands out there. I tend to push him more towards the luxury, but as much money as he put into this, it's an investment. The lifestyle is an investment. So I'm like, if a $2,500 humidor is what's going to keep your investment safe, then
that's definitely like if you're getting into it.
I guess it depends on the accessory.
Yes, definitely. Like cutters, lighters, that's totally different compared to humidors. You know, humidors, if you going to get a big collection, you know you're going to get a big collection, you're going to want to spend that money on it. And unless you're the type of person who's like, you know what, I want to be involved with it, they have cabinet humidors where it's more fine tuning. Others, you got electronic humidors that do everything for you. So that's worth the money. It, you know, for sure, in my opinion, you're going to spend money on a good humidor that's going to last you hopefully 10 years plus.
Yeah.
But the lighters, you know, the cutters, it's all personal preference. They all do the same thing. Now, will some get dull? Yes. Now, my Zykars are lifetime warranty. So anything goes wrong with it, I can turn it in. They'll give me a new one, or they'll replace it with something that's comparable. But that's how a lot of them are. Now the DuPonts and all that's are custom, so I really don't know how they do their things, but I'm sure it's equivalent, and you know, it's just more luxurious.
That's out of our price range.
Yes.
So we have no clue about that.
Yes.
We draw the line somewhere.
Yes, we do.
So with all these accessories and keeping your investment safe, have you ever had to repair a cigar with like a perfect draw or I'm sorry, perfect repair? So like I know that they have glues that are like all vegan should the wrapper start coming apart. Have you ever had to repair one of your cigars?
Oh yeah, I mean it's inevitable. Like unfortunately, you know, these are plants, and sometimes plants dry out, or you know, there's a crack that somebody doesn't see, or you know, in the box it got tossed around a little bit. You know, unfortunately, it's how it is. Sometimes you're gonna have a cracked cigar, or it's gonna start tearing apart on you, and yeah, you got to fix it. They do have glue that you can, you take around with you in your little bag, and you can just kind of glue it and it'll be okay. Some people just lick their fingers and try to stick it and try to get to the point. It once again, it's a preference. I like to fix mine if possible, especially a big one. I haven't had too bad of a one, but there have been a couple where it's like, wow, okay, that's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it does depend on how bad it is and whether or not it's even worth repairing. Because sometimes we go out and we're just like smoking whatever cigar, and it's not one that he's like, oh, I'm gonna miss this, or we have several
Yes, exactly.
at home. So at this level, how much do pairings matter to you at this level? Like, is it important to you to have a really good, drink or wine or coffee to pair with your cigar? Or for you, is it just the cigar experience?
That's a good one, because I'm not a big drinker. I'm not a big drinker. There are cigars that I do. There are some cigars that I do like to pair with whiskey, an old fashioned, a whiskey sour, even a Bloody Mary. It's really just depends, but I'm more of a coffee, soda, Dr. Pepper, anything creamy, because it's going to bring out some more of the pepper notes. That's just my palate.
I think with pairing though, that's more, again, you're not a big drinker.
Yeah.
And it depends on the mood. Just like with anything, like, oh, today I feel like I need me a stiff drink or something, So I don't think, actually at any level, I don't think it's much of an important thing. A lot of this lifestyle does go down to personal preference.
Yes, definitely.
But like Patrick was saying, unless you want to be really involved in it, then, you have like your cabinet humidors and you're there monitoring the humidity and, things like that. So again, personal preference, but,
I know some people bust out expensive whiskey just to have with an expensive cigar, and that's perfectly fine. Like there's people, and there's also people who smoke cigars and pair it with food.
I don't think I can get to that.
There's like steaks and all that. You can have a good cigar with a good steak. So it really just depends.
Personal preference.
Exactly.
So as we wrap this up, what's one piece of advice you'd give someone starting their cigar journey today?
If you're gonna get a humidor, get it bigger than what you think you need. Yeah. My first one was 100, and it filled up really fast.
Really fast.
Yes. And it's like that. So even if you get you're starting off with 1,200, you're going to be a little bit kind of filling it up, but you're going to fill it up. And you're going to be like, damn, I need another one. And damn, I need another one. And damn, I need another. Always get bigger than what you want. And don't fray too much on the price of the cigar. You're going to see expensive cigars out there and you're going to want to try it. But the ones that are $10, $30 less than that, they're only $10, are going to be just as good. Price isn't everything. Money isn't everything in this. It's your experience, what you get out of it. It's not, let nobody tell you like, hey, you should be smoking an Opus X when, it's either out of your range and you don't want to do it, or, like, hey, I'm good with my, my tobacco, or, whatever the case may be. So
again, personal preference.
Yes.
So that's like drinkers, I like wine. I like Moscato that I can buy at Target. I don't need to be drinking like a 99 Merlot or whatever. That's too fancy for me. So now for longtime smokers, what keeps cigars fresh and exciting for you? Yeah, I mean, you're kind of a longtime smoker. Like, what still surprises you about cigars?
Just the stuff that they come out with every year. It's, once you kind of get into it and you start like reading into like the blends and how they, how they're grown and, how they're made, you see that they have limited time releases. So these come out once a year.
It's like sneakerheads.
Exactly.
It's exactly like a sneakerhead. I mean, a lot of these cigar guys and girls, women out there too, they do these limited edition drops and it'll sell out quick.
Yes.
And then next thing you know, you're paying double trying to
Yeah.
get one. But again, what's also great about the community is if you find your right people, there's a lot of trading
Yes.
going on. So it's not like you really have to, pull out money to get what you want.
And like me, like if I'm somewhere and somebody beginner, there's a beginner, somebody, asking about a cigar, like if I have an extra one, hey, here you go. Like, I mean, I have plenty to give around, and that's the type of person I am. And there's a lot of people like that, though. It's not just me, like there's a lot of people like that.
That's actually what got us really into smoking a cigar. We were out having dinner. Someone was smoking a cigar in the patio. It smelled amazing. And I was like, I wonder what he's smoking. He wouldn't go and ask. So I'm over here across the patio. Excuse me.
Yeah.
What are you smoking? And he told us and came over. He's like, I have an extra one. I was like, oh, well, my husband smokes. And next thing you know, dude works at a humidor, our favorite one now, actually. He works at Cigar International. And now that's like our spot. And that's just how we fell into it. So, yeah. If you have an extra stick with you, share it.
Yeah.
You never know what'll come out of it.
Yeah, definitely.
So now someone out there wants to level up their cigar game.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you say they start?
It would probably have to be, well, I mean, if they're trying to level up their cigar game, if they're still stuck, maybe on the lighter cigars, step it up a notch. Go up to the medium. Now, if you're already there and you're trying to, you're already kind of venturing off into the more bolder stuff, that's when you try to get into the more lifestyle. Like you want to go to festivals or, you want to go to kickbacks with cigars, you want to go to these events that they have at, lounges, that kind of that thing. And if you're there, then maybe it's time to travel abroad, maybe go to the DR and visit, a couple of factories, or even in Florida, there's a bunch in Florida that have their factories, JC Newman's in Tampa, Ybor City. So
there's a lot out there.
Yes.
It really is a whole lifestyle and subculture on its own. Beginner or expert, there's something for everybody.
Yes.
And like you said, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's rude to you because you ask a question, you ask the wrong person.
Exactly.
Ask the one next to them. It's not going to kill you, So, do you have anything else you would like to add for up and coming cigar smokers?
Yeah. Like you said, just don't be afraid to ask questions. You don't have to blow your wad of money on the best things. That'll come later. Trust me, it'll come later. But you don't have to go broke, to enjoy it. Enjoy people, enjoy the social, the social area you're at, have fun with it. That's all you can. Have fun with it. I mean, yes, it can be tedious and trying to maintain humidity in all my humidors, but I enjoy that. And, you can teach people how to do it. And that's what I like to do is like teach. So have fun with it. Find what you enjoy out of it and just roll with it.
Yeah.
Just roll with it.
Parting words, have fun with it. Me personally, yes, it's a lifestyle, but you don't have to drop money to smoke the fanciest cigar or whatever the case may be. Ultimately, this is just about your experience while you're smoking the cigar.
Exactly.
And for me, it's about who I'm smoking with.
Yes.
So that's something we like to, we enjoy together and other couples and our friends. And so just remember, it's the experience of the smoke, not the money, nothing else.
Yeah.
So with that, we had a wonderful time talking to all of you cigar smokers out there, even the ones that haven't started.
Yep.
Always feel free to ask us questions.
Definitely.
That's what we're here for.
Mm-hmm.
So until next time, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Lifestyle After 5 so you can catch us weekly with these episodes. Bye, guys.
See y'all later.